The Lions look like they're turning right back into a pumpkin at the wrong time. And I don't like it. And it scares me. I mean, they're very comfortably going to win I think they're very comfortably going to win the division. But they just worry me. And I think they're going to be that trap game right in the wild card where they're just overmatched and they just kind of collapse. And that may cost Dan Campbell because you can't lose in the playoffs.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams. And with us today on this Top Shelf Tuesday edition, our favorite team leader, Mr. King, Mike King. Mike, how you doing this evening, sir?
And the Giants haven't played yet to ruin my day, so doing well.
All right. And also with us, Captain for Life, Will Cotton. Will, how you doing, buddy?
Great evening. Ready for some good Sunday night football, baby.
All right. So in segment one, we're going to talk about the best, the worst, and most surprising things we saw today. In segment two, we're going to have that playoff conversation. We're up to Saturday football starting next week. So that means we got to start thinking about the playoffs. And in segment three, we will talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only. But first, Cotton Man, what is the best thing you saw today?
Man, for real, I give this guy a lot of flack. And you can go on my Twitter account and you can go all the way back. Baker Mayfield, this guy balled today. He had a great day. They were going against Falcons, and he just looked like Buccaneers were 100% all in with him. Everybody was. I mean, even Godwin with the stuff. He had a couple good catches that were really good, that were clutch. He really played. He played his ass off, man. And I gotta give him. And they got the win. Against the lowly Falcons, of course, but. Man, I can't hate anymore. He played a great game, and that's the best thing I saw today, for real.
All right. Mike, what's the best thing you saw today?
It's a couple places to go here. Kind of want to give the Ravens some credit, even though I hate the Ravens, but they won. Also kind of want to give the Bears some credit, but I'm going to go Browns because Joe Flacco had 311 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick, and a win. And in the last 2 weeks, he's had more. I think I saw this online. He had like more 300-yard games with 2 touchdowns than the Steelers have had in like years. Something like that.
Did we have the needle Steelers?
Joe Flacco, good for him.
Good for him. Good for Joe. Delaware Blue Hen. Well, for me, fellas, and it's a running joke with my brother. Shout out to Big Brother Almighty. Lamar Jackson's a bad boy, man. He's a bad boy. And although it was questionable on the punt return, as Mike will tell me later, I thought he played very well. And quite frankly, I think he owns the NFC, according to the data. All right.
Can't be the Giants.
Mike, what's the worst thing you saw today?
Oh, boy, I mean, there was a game that was 3-0.
3-0.
Not 19 like 40, and like the helmets are the actual helmets. They're not like made of the leather or whatever they used to wear when they played those 3-0 games. Like that's bad. They count by 6s when you get a touchdown. One gets 6, so 3-0.
Yes, that was awful. Will, what was the worst thing you saw today?
I was going to say the Raiders. I mean, how do you not score in this era? Like, how do you not even fall into the end zone? Even getting whooped. Even the Panthers scored 6 points today.
Against the vaunted purple people eaters.
Right, that's what I'm telling you. But probably the worst thing I saw today, outside of that, was probably the Lions, man. The Lions look like they're turning right back into a pumpkin at the wrong time. And I don't like it. And it scares me. I mean, they're very comfortably going to win I think they're very comfortably going to win the division. But they just worry me. And I think they're going to be that trap game right in the wild card where they're just overmatched and they just kind of collapse. And that may cost Dan Campbell because you can't lose in the playoffs.
Yeah, you both nailed it. Detroit laid an egg, and how is an NFL game 3-0? That's the worst thing I saw as well. Will, what was the most surprising thing you saw today?
Oh man, I was very surprised with Zach Wilson. There was a very good episode about The Simpsons where Homer was getting a promotion, and he came to Marge and he said, I think people love me, or they gave me promotion because they know they have to work harder because I'm working, and he thinks that as an actual compliment, but for some people, guys just play harder because they know he's not good, so they have to take their level up higher just to be good. And good for him, man. He's been getting beat all season. It's good to hear him some success. I don't know if he's going to be good, re-sign, whatever like that, but it's always feels good when he goes out there and you beat a team at home late in the season. So good for him.
All right, Mike, what about you? What was the most surprising thing you saw?
So I was going to go with Zach Wilson because, again, I was at the Jets-Falcons game last week when he didn't play, and I saw some of the worst quarterback play high school would have been better. Like, it was awful. So it was good for Zach Wilson. But I'm going to go Bills. Not sure if I want to say it's surprising because the Bills beat the Chiefs in Kansas City, or that the Chiefs just kind of seem like they're there. Are they just waiting?
They're built to beat the Chiefs, but they're not built to beat anybody else.
But are the Chiefs waiting until the playoffs? Are they like the NBA team with vets that have been playing for years, and they're like, this is just boring. Let's wait till it matters, because they just look like they're there. But I still think the Chiefs are going to be the favorites in the AFC, but they keep putting together these like mid performances.
Yeah, and I'm going to go on the same line, Mike. It was surprising how unimpressive the Chiefs look. They don't look impressive at all. I'm sitting here every week like, oh my goodness, Kansas City. No. They're just another team. Hopefully they can do better, but it is wide open. And you said it, week 1 through now week 15, 14, whatever it is. A lot of bad football out there. So, yeah, I was surprised at how unimpressive the Chiefs were.
And one more disappointing thing today. Bryce Young has not gotten any better. Like, literally, he has not gotten any better. He's no longer a rookie. He's not getting any better. He looks like he's same that he was on week 1, that he is week 14 or something like that. Like, this dude just I don't know. That was disappointing to me. I watched him and I was just like, dude, like, you've gotten no better. Period. Like, you look like the same guy. So that was kind of disappointing for me too.
Quarterbacks are 6'4" now, and they do the same things that he does at 6'4".
But Kyler Murray, I mean, even Kyler Murray has a niche, and he can kind of change his game and do different things. And you're like, oh, okay, all right. I see why they drafted. I don't know why they drafted this kid. He has a strong arm, but other than that, like, he doesn't move the needle for me.
Traded the farm. Traded
the farm. All right, so fans, when we get back in segment 2, we're going to talk about the current playoff race, who's in, who's out, who's trending up, who's trending down, Detroit, and all things in between. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
Why should student athletes use the CKA SAVE Project academic and athletic consulting services? Over the past 15 to 20 years, colleges, universities, professional sports teams, business organizations, and others have increased their use of consulting services to improve their decision-making processes and results. Over the same time, the athletic and academic landscape has changed for high school and college student athletes as the NCAA has raised initial academic eligibility requirements for student athletes while decreasing the number of transfer restrictions. Former college student athletes have noted that they were academic and athletically unprepared for the rigors of college. Let the CKA SAVE Project's close to 30 years of academic and athletic experience help guide student athletes to increase success as we work to help student athletes achieve the goal of obtaining a college degree. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. It's December football. So what do I mean by that? The NFL, by contract, can't play on Saturdays until college football is done. Now that college football is done, you will see football all over the place. So let's start off with the AFC. So, fellas, I've got a Super Bowl contenders, Miami, Baltimore, and unfortunately, I still got KC. Agree, disagree, add or subtract. Mike, we'll start with you. Those are the 3 AFC Super Bowl contenders I have. What say you?
I think that's it, because you look at who else is in the playoffs right now. Jacksonville's been awful recently. The Browns are playing tough, but I don't think anyone truly thinks Joe Flacco's got that magical run left in him. Steelers, I mean, Patriots are trying to lose. Like, they're going out of their way to lose, and they fell into a victory against the Steelers, so that's a bad sign. And what the Colts, the Colts are a playoff team. Like, it's bad at the bottom, so it's only those 3 teams. So whoever gets the 1 seed has the huge advantage of cakewalk to the AFC Championship.
All right. Will, agree or disagree with the Super Bowl contenders?
Yeah, that's it for me too. Just those 3. And the Chiefs are holding on to a thread.
Yeah. So in terms of keeping it interesting, and Mike is well aware of this, the Jags are going to keep it interesting, but that doesn't mean they're going to win anything. The Browns, the Texans, the Steelers, Colts. What's up with the Broncos? Ever since that 70-point drubbing, they've played better. The Bills, the Chargers, and the Raiders. Will, is there any of those teams that are going to keep you interested the last few weeks of the season?
Anytime you got a quarterback like Josh Allen, you got to kind of keep an eye on him and make sure, anytime he gets hot, I mean, that guy it doesn't matter in the playoffs. Just win. Now it's just win, 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 win. We're not even looking at records really anymore. Everybody else, I mean, I don't really see it. Like Mike King, I don't see like Flacco kind of doing a thing. Steelers, their quarterbacks they don't know what they're doing. Colts, blah. Houston, they're kind of coming back to earth. But other than that, I would say probably the Bills, just because Josh Allen looks like he's becoming in tune with his team and they're playing a lot better. So if you're going to ride with somebody outside of that, I would say the Bills.
Mike, what about you? Is there anybody else we should pay extra attention to, not just regular attention?
Unless Joe Burrow's coming back, it's only the Bills. Because, again, it's quarterback league, and they've got a quarterback. So can Josh Allen, if they sneak in, cause trouble? I don't think anyone would want to play them in the first round. So if they sneak into one of those wild cards at the bottom and get the Chiefs definitely don't want to face them. Like you said, they're designed to beat the Chiefs. And the Dolphins haven't really beaten anybody. That's their kind of thing, right? They just beat the bad team. So they'll sneak in. They could do some damage.
All right, we're going to shift to the NFC. I only have 2 Super Bowl contenders in the NFC. I have the Eagles, despite what happens tonight. And again, we're taping during pregame warmups of that, and there's a doubleheader on Monday Night Football, and the 49ers. Those are the only 2 teams that I think are Super Bowl contenders. Mike, agree or disagree?
I'll disagree.
Go ahead and say it. I'd love to hear you say it.
The Cowboys.
Yeah, okay.
Here's the thing. The Cowboys in the first round are going to get a team like the Falcons or something like that. That's a bye week. That's more of a bye week than the Eagles are going to get. So then they're in the next round. The Cowboys, if they get the Eagles, that there's familiarity. And they definitely could beat them. Again, there's no good teams. The Cowboys have talent on offense and defense. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this one. There's no good
Mike,
team.
you're a social studies teacher, and we're data-driven decision-making. And for over 20 years, we've heard the same story. What makes this year any different for the Cowboys?
Peyton Manning was a choker until he won. A-Rod was a choker until everyone stinks until they win. That's everybody
won. At least Peyton got a second.
I know.
Okay. Will, agree or disagree?
I agree. I think only the Eagles and the Niners coming on the NFC. And the Cowboys, I don't know if they're really sustainable. I mean, we're asking, not only are you playing great defense, but you're all asking to make Dak Prescott to make no mistakes and, drop 300 yards and at least 3 touchdowns. I don't know if he can win a game without doing that. I don't know if he can have like a 200-yard and a touchdown, no fumble, no interception kind of game, which could come to it in the playoff. So he's still a playoff team. They're still looking dangerous. They're still hot right now, so we'll see what happens with the Eagles game. But they're still right there under the playoff team. And to be honest with you, the Lions are holding on to that playoff team. Like, they're not even talking. They'll be happy to be there. That's really what it is. I made a ticket to the dance. Thank you.
So, yes, we'll transition perfectly. The Lions are a playoff team. And yes, Mike, the Cowboys are a playoff team. So that's 4 slots taken. The rest of the teams in the NFC, to make it interesting, we're talking about the Falcons, the Vikings, the Packers, Seattle, Rams, Tampa Bay, and the New Orleans Saints. Mike, is there anybody else that can make this thing interesting?
I think the Rams are a team that no one's going to want to play in the first round. They're not. If you could get the Falcons or something like that, that's please and thank you. But the Rams are a team where they got a couple of receivers, they got a Super Bowl quarterback, they have the remnants of a defensive years past, and honestly, the Packers are on a nice little run. So I think they're an easy out, but would it shock me if the Packers went on some kind of surprise and gave someone a tough game in the first round? I don't think that'd be a surprise. I think I'm just saying that because I want the Packers to beat the Giants so we can get on
Will, is there anybody else we need to follow? Tell me the truth.
I think the Buccaneers can actually get a win in the playoffs if they make the playoffs. I mean, if they make the playoffs, they still have a good amount of wide receiver. Mike Evans still playing well, even though he had a bad game today. Godwin, with all the issues going on outside of football, still had a good game today. The running back Rashard White, I believe he's still playing well. Baker is not, he's willing to, man. They like playing with the guy. And if they run into, a Packers or a Vikings team and they're playing at home, man, they can beat them. So I think the Buccaneers can sneak and even win a game in the playoffs. But everybody else.
Help me out with that. I think you guys got the notes up. The Lions are how many games in front in the NFC North?
2.
They are
2 games.
They're tied. They're tied now. Oh yeah, no, they're tied. You're right. You're two games up. You're right.
And then in the NFC South, who's in first place? It's all bad.
Carolina is in last place.
They're eliminated.
Falcon and Saints are tied, and the Bucs are all tied with 6 for 7. But
it's the Bucs right now.
The Bucs are up because they're beating everybody.
Yeah,
but they're all 6 and 7, so it could next week could change.
And then in the AFC South, Jacksonville with the L, it's got to be a log jam.
One game over the Colts.
Wow.
Yeah, really it is. Yeah.
All right, so fans, you see how jumbled it is, but that's why we watch the game. So in segment 3, we'll talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only, and I wasn't as entertained this week as I was last week. We'll be right back on the iCoaches podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student-athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Folarin Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
That's the Hot Coaches Podcast. That is segment 3. All right, Will, I want you to start this off. What is Will Cotton's NFL top 5?
My top 5 is Dolphins, Eagles, Ravens, Philly, 49ers.
All right. Mr. King, agree or disagree?
I think you had Philly twice, so I'm going to disagree.
No way.
I'm going.
I did. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
So I'm going different anyway. The way I'm looking at it, you need to have a defense and at least some pieces on offense. So 49ers 1, Ravens 2 best defenses, and both have weapons. Then I'm going to go Eagles, Dolphins, and the 15. I mean, it's Cowboys or Chiefs, but it's all bad. So I'm going to
Go with the hot team.
I'm going
Cowboys.
Cowboys over Chiefs.
I got it on record. He said it.
They got to win.
Man, hey, I don't have a problem with that. All right, season-long bets. I'm having some trouble now because the Steelers are 7-6, and I need 2 more wins, and I thought I would already have them. And they've got the Colts, Bengals, Seahawks, and Ravens, and there is no guarantee that I get 2 wins out of that. The Jaguars. 10 is a push, so I need them to win 3 games, and they've got Ravens, Bucks, Panthers, and Titans. That doesn't look like a slam dunk. The Jets are 5-8. I have them over 9.5. That's done. Chargers 5-7. They're supposed to be over 9.5. That's done. Green Bay now.
Oh, and Herbert broke his finger, so I don't even know if he's going to play the rest of the season.
I would.
Throw it in the trash.
That check is cleared. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So Green Bay's over 7.5. That stolen win got them to be 6-6, and we've got a game on Monday night. And then coming up, Bucks, Panthers, Vikings, and Bears. I think I got a shot at that. Carolina is 1-12 and eliminated. The Washington Commanders are 4-9 with 4 games left. I'm not banking on a 3-1 finish. And Seattle. Do they play on Monday night or no? They just lost to the 49ers.
They lost to the Niners. Yep.
So they're 6-7.
They can
the
win.
Cowboys still haven't beat a team with a winning record, but this is all tape before Philly. Okay. All right. So last week I was 3-2. This week I was 2-3. Let's see where I went wrong. For the spread, I had the Chargers -2.5. That was a no-go. I had Kansas City under 48.5. That was a winner. My 2-play, Atlanta -2.5 and Detroit -3. I got a Bears fan at my job, so I'm sure I'll see him with a Gale Sayers shirt on tomorrow. My 3-play, money line, Baltimore pulled it out, New Orleans and San Francisco. And my upset was Las Vegas Raiders, and they couldn't even get a bucket in, man. They couldn't do it.
Not even a free throw.
Oh, my goodness. So next week is week 15, Thursday night, Rams and Raiders. I'm thinking I'm going with the Rams, strictly for entertainment purposes only. Fellas, we've got Saturday games, Minnesota versus Cincinnati. That actually means something now. Pitt versus Indy, that means something. And Denver versus Detroit, that means something. On Sunday, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Houston, Tennessee, and Dallas against Buffalo. So will the Cowboys continue the winning ways, or will they drop 2 by the time we get on this show? And then Monday night next week, the Eagles versus Seattle at Seattle. Mike, what are you looking forward to next week?
Cowboys, Bills, Ravens, Jaguars. Everything else is trash.
But it needs something in the standard.
Yes, but trash.
Trash, okay.
Unwatchable trash.
Will, what are we looking for next week?
Oh, for me, I gotta watch Bucks Packers. That's going to be tough. Winner's going to kind of change things for the division. Always good. Oh, they're gonna blow them out. But then I guess maybe Jesus, man, Cowboys, Bills, like Mike King talked about, Ravens, Jaguars, and a sneaky game on Monday night. Eagles are playing Seahawks in Seattle. You know, that's a tough play to play, and it's going to be cold. It might be a little rainy. So let's see what happens. Let's hope nobody gets hurt. Who knows?
All right. So, on behalf of my cavalcade of stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and/or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. And we'll see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.